What's up? We're back with upper body A workout. So starting off with 5 sets on the bench press. We're going for 5 sets of triples. Today was 245. So we're approaching the most weight I've ever done on bench press for reps, which is really exciting. I think my all-time PR on the bench was 275 for a single. And I was significantly heavier than I am now and just eating everything in sight. I was pretty fat. I was just literally trying to get as strong as possible, but I've taken a much more mature approach to my training now and realized it wasn't necessary. So it's exciting. We're slowly climbing back up. All the lifts are climbing now, which is great. I'm enjoying this period while it lasts, but all of the lifts are progressing, and I'm not gaining an absurd amount of excess adipose tissue in the process and still seeing solid gains, which we are happy about. So I've mentioned this quite a few times before, but you'll notice on the bench press I take a pretty narrow grip, and you will encounter a lot of different theories about the grip width and the effect on muscle activation and all that. I actually don't really consider that in terms of why I take that grip. I take that grip because it's the grip I like the most, and it's the grip with which I feel the strongest. And you really shouldn't, in my opinion, overthink it a whole lot more than that. If you find a grip that feels the best on your anatomy and allows you to move weight comfortably over a long period of time and you can progress with it, I would just stick with it, and I wouldn't worry so much about the stimulus ratio of the different pressing muscles involved, because you can always just balance it out with accessory and assistance movements. So when it comes to your big massive compounds, again, I talk about this a lot. When it comes to the specific type of squat or press, I really wouldn't worry too much about the specific variation. I would go with the one that allows you to progress the most and allows you to keep in and keep hitting the lift without getting overuse injuries or anything like that. So next up, we got weighted pull-ups. Again, I take the narrow hammer grip, I guess you'd call it here. Again, for the same reasons. I can load this up heavy and it never tweaks my elbows or shoulders or anything. I can just load this pull up with the most weight. So we got 50 pounds hanging from the belt there. So a 45-pound plate and a 5-pound plate. And then I'm doing 5 sets of 5 here. And I think I got 6 reps on the final set, which I was stoked about. So these continue again to progress quite nicely. They feel great after doing the benching as well. Get some back work right after all the pressing with the chest. Follow that up with 3 sets of the overhead press. So again, the cues I'm thinking about on this are punching through the ceiling and getting my head under that bar as quickly as possible. I'm always trying to keep those 2 things in mind. At the end of the day, I do try to just get that weight over my head. But when I'm not going berserk mode and I can remember to keep cues in mind, I think punch through the ceiling and get the head through. The punching through the ceiling helps make sure that you are just driving upwards with all of the musculature involved. So that's making sure that you're including the upper traps, because those do help elevate your shoulders. And if you don't consciously engage those, you can wind up just lifting with the deltoids and triceps and you get kind of a soft lockout. What you really want to aim for is a fully shrugged at the top lockout. I think that, I don't know the biomechanics of it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that helps protect your shoulder as well when you do these. So making sure you get that shrug at the top. And I emphasize it typically at the end of my sets, just because I like the way it feels to stand there with weight pressed up over your head. But if you can get that shrug at the end, it really helps. And again, the upper traps do help elevate the shoulders at that end range of motion there. So after that, 3 sets of that, working on double progression, we have dumbbell rows. So again, I'm big on making sure that you're balanced in your training. So for all the pushing exercises you do, you should have pulling exercises as well, because We all have different goals. Mine is just to be generally strong and not have any particular weak points, but I just want to be strong all around. So that would mean equal parts pushing, pulling, hinging, squatting, all the basic movement patterns. That's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate you checking in. Until next time, peace.